Is this thing on? We've been gone for so long.
And we're back.
It's true, we've been gone for so long. Sorry we didn't tell you. But Melissa and I needed a break. But I'm sure that Melissa has something to tell you, if she remembers.
What? Oh, the schedule?
No, friend, what we do here at Unfiltered.
Ooh, it really has been a long time. We lost our groove. At Unfiltered, we make scripted videos based on the Bible and spiritual topics.
I don't know if you know this, but Melissa has a very intensive job during the school year. So we had to reevaluate. And we decided that once a month was way more realistic than once a week.
Yeah, guys, it's real bad. Sometimes my friends don't see me for months at a time. Trust that if we were in another lockdown, I would love to make videos for all of you lovely people again. But to keep us realistic, monthly videos.
Plus, it gives us so much time to do things in editing, like an explosion.
You know, I love when Jaren randomly writes in editing things for us to edit in. Any hoozle, getting back to the OG Moses, we just saw him running away for murder.
Man, do we love murder. Yes, but he runs, and not to the land of milk and honey, but of sheep and marriage. Get it?
Yeah, I suppose so. And in case you didn't get it, Moses did become a shepherd, and he got married. All while he was in the land of Midian, which is where he ran off to when Pharaoh was looking for him for the murder that Moses committed.
Listen, friends, we don't know how long he was in Midian, but that's where he found his wife. But he got his wife and his job for standing up for the priest of Midian's daughters. Listen up, people. It's okay to stand up for what is right. He won over the father and his daughters. In other words, Moses could get it.
Yeah. He actually saved them from some guys that were bullying the 7 daughters of Ruel/Jethro, because the Bible does refer to him by 2 names. And the daughters left Moses there at the well. Jethro got real upset with them because he didn't invite them home for a meal, after he just went out of the way of saving these poor girls from these bullies.
And I'm sure this is Melissa's favorite part. Jethro gives Moses one of his daughters. Isn't it your favorite part, Melissa? Isn't it?
Totally, because every woman wants to be given away by her father to some random dude. I really do hope that she had a choice in this, but whatever. Bible things, you know, cultural.
By the way, where do you stand on the whole giving daughters away? I mean, do you want the guy to ask your dad? Listen, your dad, Leroy Chacon, is quite intimidating. Listen, I love him, but I'm not trying to date you. Listen, people, Melissa and I are not dating. We are very single. Please send help.
Wow, I love that we're clarifying this. Yes, there are negative dating energy vibes here. Okay, let's get into this one. So, if someone had the courage to ask my papa, who is something else, to date or marry me, then they're the real one. Because like you said, my papa can be intimidating.
Guys, take notes. Anywho, time passes and Moses changes. I really feel like Moses has his own Julia Roberts Eat, Pray, Love moment here. Like he goes out into the woods, takes care of sheeps, marries somebody, has a bunch of kids, really goes like on a journey. Next time we meet him, Ish gets incredibly real.
Well, the problem is, while Moses is in Midian, eat, pray, loving it up, the Israelites are still in Egypt, and they are suffering big time. Because it's not like they're just there Airbnb-ing it up or anything. They're slaves. Like, legit. And they're not treating them the best there in Egypt. And it's so bad that God hears their cry.
This is when the origin story begins for Moses. This is when the angel of the Lord, also known as God, came to Moses in the form of a burning bush. So, when things burn, what do you tell your students to do? Get out. But this bush was different.
Listen, y'all, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Science is not my best subject. Like, by any means. But being from the desert, I do know that dry things are supposed to burn, because only you can prevent forest fires. This bush did not burn. What I do know is that my God is a God of wonders.
Then this bush had the audacity to speak to Moses and call his name.
You know, I love when nature starts talking. That got me thinking, we should do the story of the talking ass.
Can we say ass?
I mean, it's in the Bible, so yeah, maybe? We can argue about that later. Back to Moses.
Listen, if a bush started to talk to me, I would be running far away. This was the voice of God. It told Moses to take off his shoes because it was on holy ground. Listen, y'all, Moses gets real used to being in God's presence. Listen, y'all, this is one of the many times God talks directly to Moses.
And God told Moses that he was going to use him to take the Israelites out of slavery and into a land that was flowing with milk and honey.
But Moses isn't receptive. As much as it's great to criticize Moses, I think that it's really human and incredibly relatable. Moses says, "Who am I to speak to the Israelites and to Pharaoh?" He's afraid that he's not going to be able to lead the people, and he's not the best public speaker. There have been many times in my life where I felt unqualified to do a task that God asked me to do.
Listen, don't tell my staff this. This stays between us. Even though I know one of my teachers for sure watches all of our videos. But I do know that there are many times where I question my leadership skills and why God put me into my position in the first place. But I always have to remind myself that God puts us in the right positions and gives us the correct opportunities to shape and mold us into the leaders that he wants us to be.
You know, I used to see this scene as God reprimanding Moses. But now that we've studied the story of David and seen how he was so open and honest with God, and God met him where he is, I now see the scene a little bit differently. I see it as God answering Moses' question in a way a father would, with kindness and compassion. I blame the Prince of Egypt for making me think otherwise. That bush was scary as all get out.
But was the bush scary, friend? I always thought it was so cool. You know, they got all of the actors' voices and put them into whispers and overlaid them on top of each other to try to convey the omniscient presence of God. I always thought that was really awesome. But I'm a nerd like that.
Yeah, I love a creepy voice of everyone that I've ever been in my entire life. That sounds great. But, you know, whatever, man.
Still don't think it's creepy. But to each their own.
Jumping back into the story, Moses begins to see God's power as God reveals his power to him. God tells Moses to put his hand in his jacket. He pulls it out and there's leprosy. Melissa, make my hand leprosy. No, you're not. It's too much. I understand. I shouldn't have. Okay, it's fine. Cool. Then God tells him to put it back in his jacket and pull it out again, and it's healed.
And trust me, guys, what Jaren just told you is definitely relevant to the story later. God also tells Moses to throw his staff on the ground, and y'all, the staff turns into a snake. That's when I would have made my quick and speedy exit. Not about that snake life. No. And again, that is also relevant to the story later because we will see God's power shown in many, many ways. And also being from the desert, I do know that you do not grab snakes by the tail. And God tells Moses to grab this snake by the tail. And he does, and it turns back into his staff, y'all.
Tony Stark can suck it!
Yeah, Tony Stark's inventions can only go so far, friend.
Moses heeds God's answers to his questions, and he turns to, you guessed it, the ugly siblings.
Oh, okay, the Bible never said that they were ugly, friend. The Bible just said they weren't as special. Or at least in little words by pointing out how super special Moses was. Anyway, to stop Moses from making lame excuses like, oops, I didn't take a speech class, God actually sends him his brother to go and speak on his behalf. Problem solved.
God's wonders will be done through Moses, and it starts right here with Moses saying yes to God's plan. Moses, who is unqualified, is set to do what some would call impossible, but with God, super possible.
And as we all know, anything is possible with God, friend. As cliche as that might be.
You just couldn't let me have my Hobby Lobby sign? That's how you feel? It's cool, Melissa. First week back. I'm gonna do that. It's great. Awesome.
No, I could not. Because you're making me edit random stuff in for all your videos. So yes, I am a little salty. Just a tad. Well, anyway, make sure that you tune in as we see the big showdown between Pharaoh and Moses. Dun, dun, dun!
Does this story include murder? You guessed it. Knowing Melissa and me, probably. Here's a hint. The song All You Little Kids with the Pumped Up Kicks, it's gonna mean some things.
Yes, murder, but also torture? And a crumbling of an entire theocracy.
That's all we have for this time. Don't forget to like, share, and ring the bell. We'll see you next time.
And guys, keep an eye out for our social media posts and give them some love. See y'all next month.